Hello guys, LifeHackster here. Today we'll be checking and testing out the Reolink Home Hub. Also, thank you Reolink for sending me this hub to be reviewed. Reolink battery cameras have always been designed to record to a microSD card inserted onto the camera itself, which you probably already know the Achilles heel of this design. That is, if someone is able to get hold of the camera and runs away with it, then your camera and the footage will also be gone, and you will never know who took the camera. I'll be testing this with this Reolink hub later on and see if the footage are deleted or becomes inaccessible when the camera is resetted. We will see, so you have to keep on watching. So now your Reolink battery cameras can now be set up to record to the hub. And just a side note, also I've seen that Reolink made a firmware update on their newer models of their NVRs, which can now support recording from their battery-powered cameras. I'll be checking and testing this out, but in another video. For storage, the hub has microSD card slots, 2 of them, and 64GB is included. But you can put in 2 512GB cards for max storage. No subscription needed. It can support up to 8 Reolink cameras, battery-powered, but also plug-in Wi-Fi or even wired PoE. I will link down below their compatibility list because the list is evolving. There are models that they are still updating and evaluating. And supposedly there is a pro version of this hub coming out that can support up to 16 cameras. You can also have the option to encrypt the footage for safety. The hub creates its own Wi-Fi network that the Wi-Fi cameras connect to, dual band, 2.4 and 5 GHz networks. The hub itself has a siren that you can set up to go off when any connected cameras gets triggered. Inside the box, you will get some paperwork. You will get the power adapter, 12 volts 1 amp, a short Ethernet cable, and this hub needs to be plugged into your network. And it comes with a 64GB microSD card. And we have the hub itself. Stylus light here in the front, vent holes on top, speaker on the back, and we have the power port, reset hole, 2 microSD card slots, and the Ethernet port. To set this up, first let's insert the microSD card and plug in the hub to your router or network and plug it in for power. Open up the Reolink app, and if your phone is connected to your Wi-Fi network and you toggle to on in the settings, add devices automatically, just scroll down to your devices list and you will see the hub. Click on it and click Uninitialize Device, which I need to update the firmware first. Then create a device password. Format the SD card, and you have an option to turn on file encryption for security, which you will need to set an encryption code, and setup is complete. To add device, you can scan the QR code, but in my case, I'll just go to my devices list and add the cameras that I want to connect, like my Argus 4 Pro. This will reset up my camera, and I have to update the firmware. And for testing, I'm also going to add my CX410 Wi-Fi for wired Wi-Fi, and lastly a PoE one, which is my CX810, so that we have a battery-powered one, a Wi-Fi plugged-in one, and a wired PoE one. Now, something that I noticed, so the cameras have to be updated, and I noticed that my Argus 4 Pro and my CX410, when I installed it outside, the footage is way washed out. And I thought the update broke the cameras. Well, I'm not sure why Reolink made an update on this to where in the settings, display, and on the anti-flicker, they have other as a default, which is usually 60 Hz here in the US, and it fixed it. So something to note for others that are having the same issue. So here in the hub settings, the Wi-Fi is the Wi-Fi being generated by the hub, which you can actually edit these. We have audio, which is the hub speaker, and the alarm.
Welcome to Reolink. Welcome to...
Push notifications, so you will get alerts from the cameras. You will have email alerts and FTP options, and format the SD card. Back to the main hub page, we have event history, and this is where you can view and download the recorded footage. And this is also where you can turn on or off the file encryption. On the bottom are your connected cameras, and you can delete it from here. Alright, so I've set up the Reolink Home Hub inside the house. It's about 25 feet away. It's in the middle of the house. And my CX810 is about 25 feet away, and I have my CX410 right here. And what we're gonna test the distance will be the Reolink Argus 4 Pro, which is another 50 feet. That's 75 feet away from the hub, and one wall in between. But first, we are gonna test, I'm just gonna check the notification speeds and we'll test these cameras out and see how quick it is. Or is it the same, or just because it's connected to the home hub, do you think there's gonna be a delay? Well, we'll test it out. So it's 5G. I'm on my 5G cellular network, and let's check it out. Nah, it's the same. It's the same. All right, so I turned off the notifications on the CX810 and CX410W, and we are going to check the Reolink Argus 4 Pro. Usually with battery powered Reolink cameras, there's a little bit of delay. Not bad. That's about the same, I think, when it's connected on its own. And see how it loads up. It's about the same. Cool. Alright, just a note on the distance for Wi-Fi cameras, battery or plugged in. The cameras are connected to the hub's Wi-Fi, and its range is about the same as the Eufy's home base, so no issues 75 feet away with a wall in between. As to PoE or Power over Ethernet cameras, it uses your network, so the distance to the hub doesn't matter. As to the video quality from the cameras, the recordings from the hub are the same to whatever the cameras are advertised for, so 4K with the CX810, 2K with my CX410W, and 5120 by 1440 on the Argus 4 Pro, so no issues there. By the way, for your wired cameras where you can set or schedule 24/7 recordings, this hub will do it, and you will see in the timeline the footage will be split up in 5-minute increments. As to performance, the cameras perform the same as when they are set up by themselves, like their detection range. And the wired or plug-in cameras will still have their pre-recording or pre-roll. And finally, let's say someone is able to reach and unscrew your camera and knows how to reset it, thinking that it will also delete the recordings. It's reset it, and it's near the hub. And as you can see here, you will get a notification that
Welcome to Reolink. Please install Reolink app.
disconnected from the hub.
And scan the QR
We'll
code
see
on
if
the
that
camera.
recording is still there.
Willkommen bei Reolink.
What do you think?
Bitte Reolink App installieren und den QR-Code auf der Kamera scannen.
It's not here. Oh yeah, it's still
Bienvenue
here.
à Reolink.
Event history.
Veuillez installer l'application Reolink et scanner le code QR sur la camera. Benvenuto a Reolink. Si prega di installare l'app Reolink e scansionare il codice QR sulla telecamera. Bienvenido a Reolink.
Yeah,
Por favor,
this is the one right
instale
here.
la aplicación Reolink
Let me see
y
earlier.
escanee el código QR en la cámara.
It's called camera 4 now. But even if this is reset, if somebody steals it, I'll turn this off.
Willkommen bei Reolink. Bitte Reolink App installieren und den
So if somebody steals it, resets it, the camera's gone, the footage is still there. Anyways, what do you think? I still have to test how the Reolink battery cameras work with the Reolink's NVR that have the updated firmware, and also see if they're going to make their Wi-Fi NVR compatible with their battery cams. But for now, this hub is a pretty good option for their battery-powered cameras. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.